Aruto Hiden is now Kamen Rider Zero One and President/CEO of Hidden Intelligence. Life isn't fair for this failed stage comedian, but he made a promise to protect the lives of everybody, and do this he shall. But it looks like he ain't the only Kamen Rider in town. It's high noon in the Reiwa era. Welcome to this review of episode 2 of Kamen Rider Zero One. Is AI the enemy? Allies? In this episode, Aruto begins his first day as President/CEO of Hidden Intelligence, but he gets more than he bargains for when he is visited by Yua and Isamu of Ames, who believe that the company is covering up the Humagear rampages. And speaking of Humagear rampages, simultaneously MetsubouJinrai.net corrupts another Humagear, this time to go on a rampage at the company. This episode provides more background to the show's secondary protagonist and Kamen Rider, Isamu Fua. Isamu witnessed firsthand Daybreak, the incident that destroyed Daybreak Town, having witnessed Humagears going rampant and attacking people. Isamu grew up with an intense hatred of Humagears and of Hidden Intelligence due to the fact that the incident was referred to as an accident, and Isamu believes that the Humagears legitimately went rampant, nothing corrupted them, they decided to rampage and attack on their own, and that the company is hiding it. And this factors into his job at Ames. Compared to Yua, who is more logical and will follow protocol, Isamu is more driven by bias. This is shown with how he speaks to Aruto, even taking him away personally to tell him what he witnessed at Daybreak firsthand, why he hates the Humagears, and he'll do anything to expose Hidden Intelligence. This in turn creates a great parallel with Aruto. Aruto cares about everyone, human and Humagear. This is shown in the episode with the Humagear Mamoru. Mamoru protects people from the rampant Humagear attacks, and Aruto thanks him and also helps cover up a damage to Mamoru on his arm by placing a handkerchief around it, and Aruto refers to him as family, and Aruto becomes hurt emotionally when Mamoru is also corrupted, and he is told once a Humagear is corrupted, they can't be returned to normal, and he has to be destroyed. So overall, Aruto believes in Humagears, that they are created to advance everyone's dreams, to help everyone. They deserve to live and be happy as well. But Isamu views them with extreme bias, and he wants them all to be destroyed. And this parallel between Aruto and Isamu is greatly emphasized throughout this episode. Both were victims of Daybreak. Aruto was saved by a Humagear, aka his dad, while Isamu was hunted down by rampant Humagears. Daybreak is both a tragedy and the source of each character's motivations, and this episode portrays it extremely well, really setting up this rivalry between the two Kamen Riders. Speaking of Kamen Riders, Isamu made his debut as Kamen Rider Vulcan, the wolf-themed gunslinging secondary rider of Zero One. I absolutely loved his debut. Isamu, through sheer will and driven by his motivation, forces the Shooting Wolf Progress key to open. He doesn't have authorization, so he forces it to open and uses his gun, the Ames Shot Riser, to transform. I love the fact that his transformation involves shooting a bullet out of the gun, which then flies back to Isamu, and he punches it to don his armor. That is such a badass way to transform. It's amazing. The suit design, I really like. It's a good looking suit, and I like the fact it kind of contrasts with Zero One's, given they both have different transformation devices, so it would make sense for each suit to differ in slight ways when it comes to the design. The fight, cinematography, and choreography was amazing, as good or even better than episode 1. Given episode 1 was the debut, and logically the crew would want the best to come out of that episode in order to keep viewers wanting and watching more, but I was genuinely surprised by how great the choreo/cinematography was in this episode. And like I said earlier about the episode emphasizing the parallels between Aruto and Isamu, the choreo and cinematography does a great job of this as well. Amazing action scenes in episode 2. Pacing of this episode was really good, flowed very well, the plot wasn't rushed. We've already gotten more information from some of the mysteries started. We're given more background to the other main characters, how they work with one another. It's a great job by the team. And on a final note, I do hope they partially tone down Aruto's comedy. Like, I get that he's not a good comedian. His comedy revolves around wordplay and emphasizing the punchline, but too much of it can get annoying. Don't get me wrong, it fits with his personality, and I'm actually glad it's a trait that makes sense. Unlike Honoree from Kamen Rider Ghost, who was loud for the sake of loud equals funny. But sometimes it can be a bit much, and the episode shows quite a lot of it. Although it's a very, very minor problem, it's easily ignorable given how great the episode was overall. On to the rating, I give episode 2 the full 5 out of 5. Amazing episode that's progressing the plot and characters really well and full of great cinematography and fight choreography. 01 is 2 for 2 so far, and hopefully it either stays at this level or gets even better. And also, on a extra final note, 01 hasn't had an opening yet. Most Kamen Rider series will skip an opening for the first episode, but episode 2 of 01 doesn't have one either. The song itself exists, but there's no opening credits. A lot of viewers slash fans, including myself, are theorizing that they're waiting for Valkyrie, the third Kamen Rider of the show, to make her debut in next week's episode. Then we'll get the opening from episode 4 onwards, but we'll see. Maybe for the first time ever for the new era, it'll be a Kamen Rider series without opening credits. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with episode 3 and episode 4. So that is it for this review. Thank you all for watching, and remember, while a jump to the sky turns to a rider kick, a hit to the subscribe and notification bell turns to future viewings of 01 reviews, and more. See you next time.